Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus AEW Dark. This is from March 30th, 2021. They said it was going to be 16 matches, unless I'm crazy, and I don't think I am about things like this anyway. It was only 12. It was a little over an hour and a half show. This is episode 82. Holy moly, of AEW Dark. Excalibur and Taz are bringing in the action. They would bring in a person here and there to commentate with them, including Leva Bates and Anthony Ogogo. I'm going to talk about those things as well, but I'm going to quickly go over how I grade these. It's on a 3-check system. And because there were really only, I'm going to say two matches that I would categorize as competitive, I grade those on a 3-check scale. 1 check if both people end up looking good, a 2nd check if somebody wins in a definitive fashion, and a 3rd check if something feels like it is advanced, either for the individual wrestler or team, or something that can be carried over into Dynamite. For the majority of the matches, which are enhancement matches, jobber matches if you're an asshole, or what I like to call foregone conclusion matches, 1 check mark if the proper person is put over in a memorable fashion, a 2nd check mark if they look really good in the process, and a 3rd check mark if the person who is losing looks really good or is given an inordinately large amount of offense by the person they are losing to. First match, Butcher and Blade against Milk Chocolate. Milk Chocolate I like a lot. Saw them for the first time on Monday in a 6-person tag. Or as they just call it, trios match. I do like that AEW stays very consistent with that. If you've got 3 versus 3, they call it a trios. You can get the feeling that they're setting up for something later on. Perhaps a trios title or a tournament of some kind, etc., etc. I do like that AEW is kind of branding themselves a little different than WWE. Always a good move. Butcher and Blade mow through Milk Chocolate. Milk Chocolate's best move is looking so scared of Butcher and Blade, frankly. Ogogo joined them for this commentary, and they did the Drag the Lake, which is a much better finisher than they used to do. High marks all around, 3 check marks. Let's see if we can get AEW Dark with the somebody corrected me last time. I've had 5 that got 3 check marks all night long. Now there wasn't a lot of fat on the bone here for AEW Dark. No real promo segments, nothing really that extra, just to warn you. Second match, Jasmine Allure against Maddie Renkowski. Renkowski picks up her 3rd win on 2 losses in this match. Leva is on commentary. Leva was kind of trying to start shit with Maddie. It wasn't a strong choice. You got to make a strong choice, and I think that strong choice has got to lend itself towards a kind of a real emotion instead of just a smattering of acting kind of annoyed about stuff. Just my opinion. Maddie Renkowski wins with an axe kick, which is called apparently the reality check, which Leva let us know on commentary. Yeah, a decent showing. A match that didn't really stand out with so many, but I'll give it 3 check marks, sure. And the women's division, always looking good, always looking like it's improving from the ground up. Match number 3, Dean Alexander and Justin Law against the Chaos Project. I like that the Chaos Project is getting away from the same shtick of Luther using Serpentico as a battering ram. They opened the match with that, where he threw him out of the ring for a dive outside of the ring on their opponents, which was great. But they're not overdoing that shtick. It has definitely run its course a little bit, and they won with the Meteor Spine Buster. Great match. 3 check marks. Match number 4, Sunny Kiss against Angelico. And this is, I'm going to call this one of the 2 competitive matches. Really good showing for Sunny Kiss. Whatever injury Sunny Kiss had is clearly he's over it. I loved how Sunny Kiss sold the Navarro Death Roll. People on submission finishers, it's one of 2 things. It's either they tap out right away, which in some cases you should do, or if they fight it for more than 5 to 10 seconds, you know they're not going to tap out. Sunny Kiss broke that mold by fighting it, Angelico really sort of like hammered in that kicking away at the thigh while I had the legs wrapped up. Sonny Kiss fought it. The crowd was getting into the notion that Sonny would fight out of it, but then Sonny tapped out, and I really like that. I think it kind of helps the overall structure. So 3 check marks for sure. Great job by both people. And Sonny Kiss really let Angelico show the range of his offense. Very cool, unique kind of offense. Max Caster with a promo talking about Alex Reynolds. And I'm sure we're going to get a rap about the Acclaimed. And apparently his partner is healthy enough that he would be at ringside. Cool. Match number 5, Vary Morales, who always does a great job, D3, and the incredibly tall Bill Collier against Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson. Anytime you're in a match with the Dark Order like this, it's about the Dark Order showing off their high levels of teamwork. Really good. They win 3 check marks. Colt Cabana's freaking Chicago skyline, incredibly brutal. D3 looked like he just took it face first on that rope coming down. Brutal. Colt Cabana even acknowledged the sort of brutality of that finish. Really good outing for the Dark Order. Tis what it is. 3 check marks. Adam Priest and Casey Navarro, who's tiny, but not as tiny as Marco Stunt, who's on the other team with Luchasaurus. This was really about a squad. I'm glad they're really focusing in on this thing of making the Jurassic Express kind of a brutal team that's now winning quickly instead of just a bunch of gaga nonsense and a bunch of double team moves that don't make sense. No, Luchasaurus grabbed them both, double choke slam, pinned them. Love it. Great. 3 check marks. Double or Nothing, the mobile video game, is advertised. It's one of the few that they had. They didn't have a lot of Wrestling with the Week or anything like that, which is unusual. But again, they kind of felt like they wanted to get through this show relatively quickly. Now, this Double or Nothing video game, I might look into it. That might be a funny thing to do for my Twitch channel or on YouTube or something. Do some kind of review as Jim Cornette would review the Double or Nothing video game. I don't know, just an idea I had. Moving on to the next match, number 7, Diamante, who they're giving a bit of a push to because they're moving her into a thing with Thunder Rosa. So she takes on Viperous, wins with a really wicked looking submission hold, and really lays it in on Viperous. Great outing for Diamante. This is what's so good about AEW Dark, when you can kind of push someone to the forefront like Diamante. And I'm a big Diamante fan. I really like her. So 3 check marks, and we've 3 check marked out so far, and that's not going to change in the next match. Match number 8, a trios match between Jake St. Patrick, Chandler Hopkins, who I gave Performer of the Night to yesterday for Elevation, and Sage Scott against Brian Cage, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks. A little dissension on Taz's team, where Ricky Starks looks like he had it won, but Brian Cage tagged himself in to hit the drill claw. So they put over the nice story of there's still a little dissension there perhaps, but really Team Taz mowed over these guys, and as it should be. You want Powerhouse Hobbs to look strong, and Brian Cage, of course, and Ricky Starks as well. So they mowed over those guys. I'll just give it 3 check marks. Even though they didn't get a high amount of offense, they did make Team Taz look really strong and good, which is the priority here right now. Match number 9, Ashley Vox, another trios match. I do wish they'd kind of break these up when they could with the solo matches, but that's just being nitpicky about booking. But I'm right. Ashley Vox, Vert Vixen, and Delmy XO, who apparently is Ashley Vox's sister. Interesting. Against Red Velvet, Kylan King, Big Swole. This is a good outing. Red Velvet definitely made to look the star here. Kylan King doing the majority of the work, and Big Swole coming in and hitting a couple of key spots. But I thought this was a good match for emphasizing the strengths of the 3 women that won. And of course, Red Velvet wins with that chef's kiss. And then afterwards, Jade Cargill comes out and confronts Red Velvet, and they hold Red Velvet back. Good. Nice way to allude to things that are important that are going on. 3 check marks. Nothing special, spectacular, real meat and potatoes kind of AEW Dark. Let me look at this ridiculous promo. I'm going to hit pause so I can watch this ad by AEW on Impact. All right. So I watched the AEW quote-unquote ad on Impact. Tony Khan just gets a little crazier and nuttier and more heelish every time. It's very amusing. And now there's a bit going on with Johnny Swingers, Casino, Kenny Omega, and Don Callis. It's very strange. I'll put that report in later on tonight. But let's get to match number 10, Michael Nakazawa, but now known as MT Nakazawa. What the heck? Against Mike Magnum. Silly bullshit about he's got his headset on and he's, an assistant to Kenny Omega and keeps the headset on during the match and whatever. And he eventually wins. And the match isn't really worth mentioning. Michael Nakazawa doesn't really look good in a memorable way in victory. He doesn't really look good in this match. And Mike Magnum, he does his level best, so I'll give it this rare, I don't know if this has happened before, where you get a third check mark, but not the first two. But this one qualifies, and thus we do not have 3 check marks all night long. I really hated this match. I really thought it was pointless. And we're moving on. Miro and Kip Sabian, this was the opposite. This is exactly what they need against Baron Black and John Skyler, who always do an exemplary job individually or in teams, and teaming them together, they both did great. The story here is Miro basically mopped the floor with both of them, which is what they needed to do for months. And they did it here in this tag match. And Baron Black and John Skyler, while not cringing or cowering in front of Miro, definitely made him look every bit the juggernaut star that he should be. Great job. 3 check marks. Baron Black and John Skyler, I think, are our performers of the week. And then finally, in another competitive match in the de facto main event, Max Caster of the Acclaimed, who totally botched the end of his diss rap against Alex Reynolds. He totally fucked up, which was very amusing. Against Alex Reynolds, I did like the end. They did a real heelish ending. So Max Caster hit him with the chain on his fist before hitting him with a really weak-looking elbow off the top rope to get the pin. But it was certainly good enough. It continues this thing, possibly between Max Caster or the Acclaimed in general against the Dark Order. So it gets that 3rd check mark. They both looked good in this match. I wasn't disappointed that it was the main, as it turned out to be. And then Max Caster looked really good as just the heelish dick, which AEW needs those guys, and they certainly fit the bill. Anyway, this has been Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus AEW Dark.